Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 12th of November, 2019. Tonight is a really special episode. To buckle up, one topic, and just like, boom, delve into it.
Get some popcorn, get some coffee, because you have not seen something like this in a long time.
And not just from us, I mean anywhere on YouTube. It's that we have delved into this, the more fascinating. I mean, I'm talking fascinating. She said, you know, I'm actually really glad that I have this because I was kind of getting a little bit bored with the news. And in here, you're going to want to sit down. So
right, I want to dive right in. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
The cliffhanger type deal. Let's say we can go that far, right? Let's just say, all right, this right here, this point right here proves
that they're just keeping it going.
That they're just keeping it going. Leah's gonna delve in further as to going back to like the original and so on and so forth. But to me, it's unfortunate that these friars got a hold of these kids.
Mm-hmm. For their own political and religious purposes.
It makes them look stupid.
Right.
Because anybody would say the odds, of the flinch happening at the exact same time as Mary goes to drop baby Jesus, ridiculously, like that's not going to happen. Two, why is Mary holding a baby Jesus?
Right.
Okay. We all know that we are real creatures. Okay. So when you die and when you go to heaven, there aren't multiples of you, and there aren't multiples of Jesus. Okay.
Right.
There's just one Jesus, and his spirit lives within us.
And scripture, we all know he died and rose again.
He doesn't go back to being a baby Jesus. And so is Mary holding a fake baby Jesus? Who is this baby
Jesus? And that's
that Mary is holding.
I want to bring in the gospel. The gospel is that Jesus Christ is seated at the right hand of our Father.
Right.
Okay. And we want to make sure that when we're doing this, that we're bringing the gospel into this whole thing, because Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Okay. And if you are a Catholic person, and if you are faithful, and if you're even a Marian Catholic, okay, but let's bring the gospel into it. This is not a video to deny anybody their Catholic faith or their Marian Catholic faith or praying to the rosary. This is to go in and as a group, we need to say, you know what, if there is a conspiracy theory that is affecting somebody, whether with the CIA, we have possible sex trafficking at Medjugorje now. We've got definite money laundering happening there right now. The seers have made a lot of money. One of the young men, Ivan, lives in an $800,000 home in Massachusetts right now.
Now, what does that sound like?
It sounds like the Pentecostal
prosperity
movement. And it is,
which we came out of and we know is false.
And what's very interesting is that within this, one of these Friar Vlasic came, and he was part of, in the 80s, there was a charismatic movement. Well, the charismatic movement got to be being part of the Marian movement as well. We have the heating running and the thing, and I'm just dying and hot.
Okay, Mom, can you turn the heat off? Please.
So we've got this whole this thing going, and this charismatic movement, and we have one of them, and I'm going to try to get them right. I will get them right as I go through them. It was actually defrocked for mysticism and bringing up suspended for bringing up spirits, like other spirits, like a satanic type deal.
So we are literally only going to use A, the word of God, and B, other ruling Catholic authorities that we're going to bring into this.
Is an interview with a devout Catholic, Patrick Coffin, with another incredible devout Catholic, Donald Foley, who actually, and this is for my Catholic friends, I know maybe my non-Catholic friends are going to be like, why are you defending praying to Mary and things like that? Because that's not the purpose of this video. the purpose of the video is to be in solidarity with people who are being hoodwinked.
Yeah.
And so I'm in solidarity with these people. And so with Donald Foley here, he wrote a book, and he actually covered the Fatima and shows Marian apparitions, and he believes in them, and he covers the Catholic, how the Catholic Church comes down on, are these true apparitions or are they not apparitions? I'm going to, full disclosure, I do not believe in Marian apparitions. I do not believe that you can pray to Mary. Full disclosure. However, as a person who can look on the inside with respect, it's as if somebody was covering a Pentecostal preacher like a Kenneth Hagin or somebody, and they can say, I appreciate that Pentecostals may pray in tongues and do other things.
Prophecy.
I appreciate their faith. But let's go after some of these guys who are charlatans.
Right.
As I'm, and it's just as simple as that.
Sure.
Right. So we're going to start here. Patrick Coffin Show.
The Patrick Coffin Show. Today we're going to talk about something that is enormously popular in the Catholic Church and has earned some attention outside the church, and that is all of the events that happened on a hillside in then Yugoslavia, starting from Wednesday, June 24th, 1981, when some young people said that they saw the Blessed Virgin Mary. In Croatian, the Gospa, or Our Lady. From that first week, back in 1981, we have seen 40,000 or so separate alleged apparitions from what the teens, now adults, have said is the Blessed Virgin Mary, giving messages to humanity and secrets and all manner of content. Today we're going to talk about the truth about Medjugorje and so on. So thanks for writing the book and then taking the time to write another version, an updated version. So thanks for your work on that.
Thank you, Patrick. Yes, I felt it needed a full overview of the whole thing so that people can have a better understanding. So that was what I was thinking of.
There's not much in it to talk about this for you and me. I've done some Google searches online, and the people who run the movement, who have invested, including a financial binding on the faithful, an unapproved apparition is certainly not binding. So
right, exactly.
When you first got interested in Medjugorje as a phenomenon, how you heard about it, and whether or not you've been devoted, we have to say fanatically attached to this phenomenon, and nothing you say or I say is going to change anything. Will not put a dent in their resolve and their enthusiasm. So I'm not doing this show for them. Their minds are already made up. I don't want to disturb them with the facts. On the other hand, there are people who are sarcastic, and they also are ignorant of the truth of it, and they have a set of misunderstandings as well. So hopefully we can serve their needs and be of value as far as just uncovering some of the historical facts and the truth of the local ordinary judgment from the first bishop there, the late His Excellency Pavo Janic, and the current bishop Ratko Peric. It's really the middle group, which I suspect is the largest proportion of people maybe on the fence, maybe have heard this and that, maybe some friends have gone there and either had a good experience or a skeptical one. That's really the reason why I'm doing this show at all, because, you know, the blowback from Our Lady of Guadalupe to Fatima, and if memory serves, all of them combined will fit on 11 pages. Am I remembering correctly?
And if you are watching us for the first time and you don't know anything about us, our background is our family is Catholic. Our mom was baptized Catholic. Our grandma was Catholic. We used to take her to Mass. The priest at my grandma's funeral knows us pretty well and asked you to speak at my grandma's funeral Mass because you're a minister. And so we are some of the biggest Protestant defenders of the Catholic Church as a denomination within Christianity.
Because of the, especially the Universal Catechism after the Vatican II, Jesus Christ is Lord of all, and the basic tenets of the Catholic Church we do agree with. All Christians do. We all agree on, you know, the basic tenets of the Catholic faith. I have to go. I don't agree with everything that these men are talking about with, you know, the church hierarchy.
But I don't believe with everything that the Baptists say or the Pentecostals say. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
Okay, but I want to just focus on this, like Michelle said. All right, I have my time frames right. Here we go.
Youngish people.
No. Start over? No.
And as you say, a very pithy, condensed sort of message. So that's the picture, really.
Let's press the rewind button and go back to the massacres during World War II and following on the other side of Podbro Hill there, outside Medjugorje, and how the area is known as a place of folklore that I'd have to say is marinated in occultic images and memories and kind of blood vengeance between Serbs and Croats.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the historical backdrop in the decades leading up to the claims of 1981.
1981, well, I suppose in a sense you've almost got to go back centuries really to try and put the whole thing in context, because that area was conquered by the Muslims, and so that was where the Franciscan connection comes in, because they were the only ones priests allowed to stay there. So this very close bond grew up between the people and the Franciscans. Then in the 19th century, when the Habsburg Empire sort of pushed the Muslims back, then they wanted to have a proper hierarchy, but the Franciscans resisted. And this resistance has gone on pretty almost up to now, of not wanting to give the parishes back. But at the same time, then you've got a whole, the whole Yugoslavia thing, the Serbs, the Croats, the sort of divisions. But just a point to make is going back 500 years, there was a sort of it was a very primitive sort of religion, and they were worshipping a thunder god. This is with Christ.
So I want to make that subsistence farmers prone to folklore, prone to believing in spirits and things showing up here and there, and prone to stories, okay?
And that whole business. So, and then there was sort of ancestor worship mixed in with it. And one of the fallout, if you like, from the Muslim occupation was that their vendettas started to go up, because people were, family members were being attacked by the Muslims, and they would betray people. And there was this whole sort of thing of vendettas and clan warfare almost. Yeah. So there's a very, very messy background to the whole thing, which most people are just pilgrims, are just totally unaware of. So they're coming. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Well, how did this culminate in 1975 or so with Paul VI? And this is a very important directive that was ignored and mocked and derided. What was that conflict over?
Talking about the bishops. This is from the local bishop. From Mostar, Bosnia, and the Herzegovina. This is the Herzegovina is the area where Medjugorje is. The bishop of the local church where Medjugorje is located reiterated on Sunday. This is from actually this year in 2017, because the phenomenon is still going. His long-held belief that the alleged Marion apparitions at the site were false. It goes on to talk about how the church has been fighting the bishops hold that the apparitions are a manipulation, and the Franciscan friars have continued to perpetuate it and to keep it going. And during the course of my Episcopal ministry, first as co-editor in 92-93, and later as ordinary, with preaching and the publication of books, as well as with more than 50 Marian and Mariological articles, he's not against Mary, that's my point. I have tried to present the role of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the Incarnation and the work of the Son of God and her Son, and in her intercession for the whole Church, of which she is the mother according to grace. At the same time, I have highlighted, as was done by my predecessor of happy memory, Bishop Pavab Zanek. I have an interview with Bishop Pavab Zanek talking about how they're not real. And Bishop Pavab Zanek is the bishop. Now, in this book, is painted as a bad guy. He's painted as pro-communist, but he actually is the person, if you want to talk about church obedience and following the church, he's the guy that you're supposed to go to. Like anywhere that, without that, you just have anarchy. Okay. And that's not the way the Catholic Church is run, which is funny for me, because for me, I'm like, hey, blasé-faire, people can just follow the Lord how they want. That's not how they run the things, okay? You got to obey the bishops, or you are not in good standing with the Catholic Church.
Well, and you're going to get to a point, and I want to do a personal spoiler alert here, that the draw to this is that every single person that really is taken by this Marian apparition here feels like they have reached a higher form of Catholicism, and they feel like they are really, really special.
Yes.
Like they know more than the Pope, or they know more than the bishops.
This is a picture of Bishop Pavel Zanuck, who is the bishop of Mostar Duvinal, the bishop that was the head of this area. And he published this in 1990, basically begging the Vatican to step in because nobody's listening to him. Even the children and the teenagers, adults, as they became adults too. He wrote this because he has tapes, and there's tapes of these kids. He sat down with them, and as he did, their stories didn't line up. Nothing lined up. Some of the stories were so insane, and we're going to cover how these stories are.
Before he had talked to them,
right?
He had just been hearing this is what
from the Franciscans.
This is what they're saying, and then he was like, "Wait." When he actually started to talk to the kids,
there's tapes, and they have been
right
translated. And so I'm going to get to the facts.
He interviewed them right at the time, and so we have here a first-hand account.
Exactly, and the seers came to him, telling him different things on what he needed to do as bishop. Mary told me you needed to do this. Mary told me that if you didn't do this, then you would be sent to hell. And Mary told me that these other friars, that they're good and we should listen to them, even though they had all been, 3 of them had been defrocked, sexual sins, spirits, mysticism. One guy went off, he's doing UFOs right now on YouTube. I mean, this is a disordered thing, and it is demonic. Like, seriously.
Zanuck with his sort of his own little commission, and then another commission, and then obviously because the thing was spreading, it went up to the sort of next level, the whole bishops, and they talked about the need for pastoral provision for the pilgrims, but they made that judgment of the supernatural character cannot be established. But the point I make in the book is that
they made a judgment: the supernatural character cannot be established.
If, say, it was something like Fatima, and they said after 6 apparitions, supposing there'd been, or some other apparitions, there was a judgment that says the supernatural character cannot be established, would you say, fine, it's in the early days, we don't know how it's going to develop, and so on?
It's been going on since 1981, and you still cannot say that there's a supernatural characteristic. What the guy likes to say is, it's like you go to a woman and you say, will you marry me? And she says, let me think about it. That means, no, I'm not marrying you, and I'm not
interested in the description that the seers give of the appearance of the Gospel in these experiences.
The Gospel is the apparition of Mary. So when you hear the word Gospel, that's Mary. Yeah.
Dating from the first month, the first week, in fact. This comes very clearly in the transcripts of the interviews that their spiritual directors gave at the time with the teens. Not only can they not get their story straight, the appearance that they describe is frankly bizarre. That Our Lady, you touch her garment and it's like steel. I think Yakov Kolo, the youngest, touched her garment or her veil, and it began to be dark and charcoaly, and that sort of spread, and that was kind of disturbing. And the Gospel explained that was his sinfulness affecting her Immaculate Conception.
So that is just bizarre, and that's a 10-year-old, and a specific apparition. And I'm going with it, and y'all are going with me. You can't lie. That's one of the criteria of the Catholic Church. You can't lie. And to say, like the one girl saying, I was trying to catch the baby Jesus. There are so many stories about how the children talked about how the Gospel Mary at first appeared to them as a demon, and then it scared them, and then she switched to being Mary, and she said that's a test.
Good night, guys.
Let's go.